this is one of the more interesting things that we have to deal with. The election of Donald Trump as president, and jurisdictions like Montgomery County have talked a lot about the anticipated changes in the immigration laws with respect to what the Trump administration is planning on doing. The county council recently proposed a bill called the Uplifting Victim and Immigration Safety Act, and it purports to provide legal status to victims of certain violent crimes who have suffered physical or mental abuse and previously assisted or are helping law enforcement. It's modeled after the immigration U visa bill or law, I guess it is. But it confused me when I first saw this, because I don't think a county council can provide immigration status to someone, even if they want to give notice to this law. So Maricé, as an immigration lawyer, I love having you on because you can provide some insight on this and some expertise on this. One thing that I found interesting was, like a good lawyer, I went and looked at the U visa and what are the requirements for a U visa. And I was confused by the term non-immigrant status and what that meant and how that's applied.
Sure. Well, first, you hit the nail on the head on why was this a county bill. This was actually it's a replica of a state bill that I introduced 10 years ago and is now a state law. So really all that the county does is just reinforce the relationship that we have with law enforcement, to have law enforcement certify, which is a part of the qualification for the applicant to qualify for a U visa. So it really is just reinforcing something that we already had, a state law. And that's one of the reasons why, and this is going to be a surprise to you, that the pro-immigrant organization, CASA, did not support me in my reelection, because I tell them, why are you wasting taxpayers' money on laws that are already state law, right? That's number one. Number two, the non-immigrant, it just means that it's not an automatic to a green card. So there's immigrant visas and there's non-immigrant visas. So when it's a non-immigrant visa, it's not an automatic to then become a green card holder. You have to qualify. There's going to be additional qualifications before you're able to adjust directly to being a green card holder or legal permanent resident.
Yeah, but again, the county can't grant a visa to
correct
people.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. That this bill does nothing to immigration law. Nothing. It just reinforces. It's like, just saying with a stronger voice, we have an MOU with Montgomery County Police Department. That's all that it does.
Okay. So Stacey, neighboring Frederick County, Mayor Michael O'Connor has come under increasing criticism for his plan to establish taxpayer-funded legal advocacy fund to defend immigrants who may be, his term, harmed by policies from the new Trump administration. We've also seen recently a federal court in the, I think it was the Ninth Circuit, who ruled that the federal government has a constitutional right to deport illegal aliens. This seems to be a clash between federalism and state law or county law. What's going to happen here, do you think?
And that's clearly true between the federal and the state law. Casey, these are highly progressive leaders who are trying their level best to solve a political Rubik's Cube to protect undocumented immigrants. But the federal government is a higher authority in this matter. So no matter how hard they try, there will always be a red square in the blue side of the cube. They need to keep in mind that first and foremost, in terms of deportation, the new administration intends to go after the serious criminal element first. And so if folks like Michael O'Connor in Frederick and the mayor of Denver, Mike Johnson, and Brandon Johnson in Chicago go on the defensive, particularly with taxpayer funds, they might soon find themselves out of a job, especially if a heinous crime is committed in their respective jurisdictions by an undocumented immigrant and they've erected a deportation barrier. And I can't imagine the Trump administration not making a full-throated effort to go after them. It's what voters asked for very loudly and clearly in this past election.
Casey,
Mark, doesn't Montgomery County also have a similar funding mechanism?
No. So number one, I actually agree with everything that Stacey just said. This is the reason why there's so much misunderstanding. And the key element missing from this conversation is the deportation of criminal illegal aliens, not just any illegal aliens. So in other words, I agree with the Ninth Circuit. The federal court does have the right to deport individuals who have gone through the due process, the due process of being found criminal guilty of some kind of crime. That's not the same as just, having a raid and just massively grabbing people that have not committed crimes. And the reason why there's a difference is because there's administrative law and criminal law and immigration. So just crossing the border is not actually is not regulated under criminal law. It's regulated under administrative law. Until they have committed any other crime, then that's when the federal government, absolutely, once they have been convicted, et cetera. And so with what we're talking about and what Stacey's talking about, that is less than 2% if that of undocumented immigrants. That's the problem here.
So I just want to ask a question to clarify.
Sure.
When a migrant crosses into the United States, they need to file for asylum in order to be classified or admitted properly into the United States. It's not someone who just crosses the border through Eagle Pass or some break in the laws that have gone through the process of being registered by ICE. Is that correct?
That's correct. So you come into the country and you submit yourself to inspection. And so then you ask for some kind of relief. It could be, most people don't know anything beyond asylum, but they may not have a case for asylum, but they may have something else for withholding of removal, cancellation of removal, depending on just humanitarian factors. But that act in itself is not criminal. Now, if you're deported and you don't leave, that is criminal. So absolutely, does the federal government have the right to deport people that have already been deported? Absolutely, they do. And even immigration experts go on TV talking about this, and they have it wrong. I mean, I am a lover of the Constitution. I actually went to law school. This is what my thesis paper was how the Constitution protects or doesn't protect people of certain status, U.S. citizens versus green card holders versus undocumented folks versus people that have already been deported but never left. There are different classes of people, and the Constitution may or may not protect everybody the same.
Any final thoughts, Stacey?
It's going to be very interesting. And again, just like I said in the last segment, buckle up. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Well, I think I think we could all, given the headlines, given everything that's transpired since November 5th, I think we can all agree on that.